Hello, this is your boy F. Dot, and today we're going to do a full tutorial on Bitconnect. And I basically just want to, I got some requests out there from some of my friends to start up on this, so I want to give a full tutorial on how to set it up, how to get things going, and how to start lending on Bitconnect and start earning this coin. So let's just start it out. A few things that you're going to need to prepare for yourself is you want to make sure you have any information for your bank accounts, because we're going to need that to set up your first account. One thing I also recommend is, if you don't already have it, is some type of password bank. I use LastPass that is integrated in my browser. I have it on my computer as well. I have several computers, so I have that amongst all of the computers, but it's pretty safe. There's some two-factor authentication that you can use to make sure that it's safe and good. So you want to make sure you get that so you can save all of your passwords, because there's multiple accounts that you're going to be using. So let's talk about this Bitconnect. You guys want to get started on this, you know what I mean? I'm making this video for some of my friends, so basically if you follow this video, you should be able to get started. And this is real. I'm the most skeptic person out here. So this thing that I'm going to show you is real. You know what I mean? And I got a Miller Lite beer that I'm drinking, so pardon me when I take my little drinks. But I'm the most skeptic person, but this is real, you know what I mean? And you might have some people out there, videos out there talking about this is a scam or whatever, blah blah. I mean, I don't know where they come from, but they just haters or something. But if you have your money in any CD or any savings account, I mean, you're getting a fraction of this. I mean, here you're getting on average, I've been getting on average, 1%, and you're getting paid daily, not once a month. So there's a big difference. It's just bullshit if you ask me. But anyway, back to the video. This is a full tutorial. I'm going to talk about all the steps that you need to, start up. I think you should have, maybe you can start out, if you don't believe it and you think it's some bullshit, you can start out with 100. You know what I mean? It's volatile. You know what I mean? Just like anything else, stock markets, all that. You know what I mean? The market can change just like that. So, this is just a risk that we're taking. And any millionaire, billionaire, successful person, they're taking chances. You know what I mean? If you listen to that new Jay-Z album, you'll hear that, the story of OJ. Anyway, so the first thing you need to do is you need to create a COINBASE account. And this is the address, www.coinbase.com. Now, in the link of this video, I'm going to give you all the links that you need to gain access to these accounts. So in the video link, I'm going to put this link there. This is what you want to click. And this is basically going to take you to the new account creation, and you can create your Coinbase account. So once you create your Coinbase account, this is basically what it's going to look like. And it's going to have you verify, so you're going to need your own email address and all that you probably already have. And it's going to have you verify. You want to pretty much use one PC for this, because they try to make it as secure as possible. So they want to make sure that when they're verifying you that it's the same PC. They're looking at IP addresses and all that stuff. So when you set this up, make sure that this is the PC that you're going to be using. So when you set up this account, it's going to have you verify. You're going to click in your email, and it's going to bring you back here, and then you'll be in. And then the first thing you want to do is now you want to add your banking account to this Coinbase. Coinbase, I mean, there's some other ones out there, but this is where you should start, in my estimation. So you want to create this account using my link, and then you want to go to settings. I'm going to go through this with y'all. And then you have these payment methods. And as you see, I have several payment methods. That's what I recommend. And the reason for that is because, like, if you use your bank, it takes 4 to 5 days for, if you buy Bitcoin, it takes 4 to 5 days before they can become available to you. The benefit with credit cards, debit cards, and all that is under a certain amount, they're instantly available, and that's what we want. Because this Bitcoin, prices go up and down. Fortunately, up. The last few weeks, but you are able to add money and have it be instant. So, and that's what you want to do. You want to add multiple forms. I mean, sometimes you want to have your bank, and I did that for when I made a big purchase. I did it through my bank, and obviously it took 4 to 5 days. I didn't like it, but it is what it is. So you want to add that. You want to add that payment method. Let's just see what it looks like. You see, you can actually add PayPal, bank account, credit card, debit card. And as you see, you only lower limits. I had a good friend of mine set up the other day, and he did his credit card, and it only allowed him to do $200 for that type of credit card he had. So other credit cards I've seen different. It's gonna actually ask you to verify. Let me take that back. When you set up this, if you set up a credit card, debit card, Coinbase is going to actually charge your card 2 separate payments to verify that card and make sure it's real and everything's good and you got the money in there. And then you'll have to come back to Coinbase and put those amounts in. And with the credit card, debit card, I've noticed that it does it right away. There's some other cards that may take a day or two, but I've known, like, straight up credit card, debit cards, as soon as you do it, it comes right through. So I'm not sure on the bank account if you set it up that way. I believe it does, but again, that might take a couple days. So set up your I recommend setting up a bank account, setting up a credit card, debit card, and if you got it, trust me, I'm not trying to mess with you or anything. This is a real deal. So if you got 500 or 1,000, because that's how you're gonna profit the most. The more money you put in, the more you get. And I'm gonna show you what I've gotten. It ain't big. I mean, there's other people on this thing that are making way more. What I mean? But I'm kind of a new person, and I feel like that's why coming from me is pretty valuable. But back to this. Anyway, you want to set up this. It's going to have you verify, enter those 2 amounts. You're going to put that in there. And once you do that, then you're pretty much ready to buy Bitcoin. And your information will be there. And now you can buy Bitcoin. So once you have that all set up, then you're going to be logging in. And as you can see, the price for a Bitcoin is, $34, $33. Just a little bit of history. I mean, I want to say maybe 4 weeks ago, the price was, I think, as low as $1,900, because it took a dip it was up to 28, then it took a dip, just like the stock market shit. You know what I mean? Goes up and down. You're pretty much taking a risk, saying that this Bitcoin thing is a thing, and guaranteed it's a thing. And it jumped, went to 28, went back down to like, I think 18, 19, and then it jumped back up to like 27, 28, 27, and then they had a hard fork, and some, August 1st, a lot of hoopla about that, and they had, Bitcoin Cash. But then after that, it just took this, increase to, 3,400. There's some other, reasons for that, spooky or something, I don't know, but I think it's here to stay. This is a real deal. So basically, this is going to be your account. Once you log in, you have your account set up. There's different coins, altcoins that you can buy. Ethereum is one, Litecoin is one, but we're interested in Bitcoin. I've been taking money out for bills and other things like that, and I'll have other videos to show you about other things that you can get into, cloud mining services that I think are worthwhile. But we're going to do the BitConnect today. So once you have that, you want to deposit your money. You want to deposit, or not deposit, you want to buy Bitcoin. So when you want to buy Bitcoin, after you got your accounts all set up, then we're going to go to the buy. And we want to click buy, and you want to make sure you're choosing, whatever payment method you have. And if you notice that there's instant, and that's what shows you that your money's going to be available instantly. And it's only to a certain amount, though. It's not, just unlimited. So it's a certain amount. And so you want to choose whatever one you have that you want to buy Bitcoin with. And then you want to put whatever that dollar amount is. So, oops, I want to put it here. Make sure you put it here. So let's say if we put in 100, or we put in, 1,000, I don't have 1,000 in there, so actually, let me do this right to scale. So let's say if I'm using, I definitely got 1,000 in my account, but so you want to do it, you want to do 1,000. See, that's good that this came up, because you see, for this card, I can only do $500 per week. And for other cards, it might be different. So, if we put $500 in there. This brings up another thing. See, COINBASE makes their money off, transactions. So they take a certain amount off every transaction you make. So you need to always keep that in mind. So for like this, if I wanted to put 500, because I have that $500 limit, and they're going to take, a few bucks off that transaction. So if we did maybe 450, see, then I'll be good there. You have your limits there, and that's how they make money. It's acceptable. And then you're going to buy that, and that would be instantly available to me, which is a good thing. And I'm not going to buy that now, but that's what you would do to set that up. Now, if you did that with your bank, you set it up with routing numbers and all that, it would take 4 to 5 days. One of my big purchases, buying Bitcoin, I did over 1,000, and it took 4 to 5 days for it to be available, for it to show up in your dashboard here. Right here in this amount tells you what Bitcoin you have. So it took 4 to 5 days for that. But if I did that $500 or that $450, it would show up right here right away. And once you have that, that's when you're good. You're following the steps properly. So once you have that money there, then you want to, I'm going to have this in the description, you want to click on this link right here. And this pretty much puts you on my team for Bitconnect. And there's some things, some added benefits from being on my team. And like I said, this is a real deal. So this is that account. Once you click that account, you're going to sign up. Let me just see if I can bring that up so you can see what it looks like. How about this? Let's click this link. I don't think it's going to. Okay, yeah. So once you click that link, this is how it's going to look. So you're going to put your name in, your last name in, your email address in, choose a username, choose a password, confirm it, put your number in, and this, you want to keep that there. Because this is what puts you on my team. This is my link. So you want to keep that there. Don't wipe that out. Put your date of birth. You want to do your CAPTCHA to make sure that you're a real dude, real woman, whatever. And then you'll sign up. And then once you sign up, you'll be in a place that looks like this. You want to make sure you have a good solid password for that. They have some other let me take a little right. You want to make sure you have a good password set up. They have some other things in there where you can set up 2-factor authentication and all that stuff. So once you have that Coinbase all squared away, then you have this. You have your account all set up. Now we need to put, as you see that there's this Bitcoin wallet, and then there's a Bitconnect wallet, and then there's your London wallet. So we need to, the money that you just put in, whether $100, $500, or $1,000, now we need to transfer that to Bitconnect. So, and how you would do that, if you had $1,000 in here that you did, following my steps earlier, then you would hit send. And this is what that will look like. And then if you go back to Bitconnect, you would hit deposit Bitcoin. And once you hit that deposit Bitcoin, it's going to come up with a box showing you what the address is that you should send it to. And I'll show you an example of what that would look like. So it would look like something like this. It would be a string like this. So then you would copy that. This is a fake one, so it ain't real. So then you would copy that. You know what I mean? Once you click this, copy that address, and then you go here, and then you would paste it. That's one thing with this. Don't ever try to do it by hand or memory. Always copy it. Copy and paste so you know you got the right thing. You got to really pay attention to this, because if you mess up, it's done. You ain't getting that back. So once you copy that and paste that here, then if you had 1,500, or you started out with you want to start out 100 to test, you would put that here and make sure you change it to USD, just so you know, because we know what money is. We know $10, $20, Bitcoin, is dealing all with these decimals and stuff like that. So this makes just change it to USD, and like you put $100 and see it automatically calculates what that BTC is, Bitcoin. So you see it down here. I mean, if you a mathematician, you know that, do your thing. But I always change it to that just so I can put in that USD number. So then once you do that, then you hit send funds. So once you hit send funds, the way Bitcoin works is it has to confirm it. I think it requires like 3 confirmations. This is cryptocurrency. It's housed, it's it's the people's computers and stuff like that. And now it's become more of an enterprise. So you have a lot of businesses where they have a lot of nodes set up, in these big, huge factories. And the more the power they have to, because these things are encrypted, so they have to, unencrypt it to make sure that, where that's coming from, how much it was, make sure it's valid. And a lot of times this confirmation right here, they require like 3 confirmations. So 3 nodes are confirming that that transaction is real, it's right, and all that stuff. So once you hit that send, and I've noticed between, a couple minutes sometimes up to 10 minutes, you'll see that here, this incoming Bitcoin transaction. And you'll see it might only have 1 confirmation. So it's not going to be available until it has like those 3 confirmations. So don't worry about it. You might have to take a second, depending on how many people are trading and depositing and withdrawing. It could take longer, it could take shorter. So, but you'll see that there, so you know it's incoming, so you know you did it right. So then once that's completed, you'll see your Bitcoins in this wallet. So then after you do that, now you need to buy Bitconnect. So this is another step. We're going to, transfer to COINBASE, transfer the funds from COINBASE to the Bitconnect Bitcoin wallet. So you're just transferring this Bitcoin from COINBASE to Bitconnect. But there's still Bitcoin at this point. Now we need to make it Bitconnect. We need to buy Bitconnect coins. And that's how we can lend. We can't lend unless we have Bitconnect coins. Obviously, this is a Bitconnect site, so they want Bitconnect coins. So you're going to do the exchange. You'll hit the exchange. Yeah, my connection's a little bit laggy. Not sure why, but whatever. So then you'll scroll down and you see here, buy and sell BCC. This is where that's at. So if I had Bitcoin in here, I would have an available balance right there. So if I had an available balance, I would choose all, or you can put, whatever amount you want to. So if you had, $1,000 in there, but you only wanted to invest 500, you have to do your own calculation. And here's a calculator, CoinDesk.com calculator, and how you can, kind of calculate Bitcoins from the decimal number. This is Bitconnect, so it's a little bit different. You'll have to look at this number right here. So it's $85. This shit is crazy. I mean, months ago, I think it was 30. So, I'm telling you, this is real. The prices are going up. All altcoins, all, these cryptocurrencies are just becoming, just shooting up out the water. So if you had, like I said, if you had it, if I had Bitcoin here, it would be an amount here. I would put all for whatever amount. You do your own calculations. I ain't good at math. You do that shit on your own time. But you figure that out, what that decimal is according to this. And then you would buy the Bitcoin. Or Bitconnect, I'm sorry. So obviously I can't show you with that screen, but a screen will pop up, have you confirm. I'm not sure if it comes up with a password. It might ask you to put in your Bitconnect password that you signed up with, and then it will confirm it. And just make sure that you got all your numbers right, because there ain't no refund. There ain't no calling customer support. This is this Bitcoin stuff is, you have the power, but you also have the power to fuck up. So don't do that. Make sure you know what you're doing. make sure you got the monies. I mean, if you're doing 1,000, you put 1,000 in, and you want to only do 500. Make sure you got your numbers right. I usually just put in what I want to invest right away, so I always hit all. And then once you do that, it could take up to a couple minutes, depending on, because then it goes down here in these live orders, and it gets picked up somehow. And then once it's, if you check back in, 5 minutes, then you'll see this go to 0, and you'll see your Bitconnect wallet be populated with whatever money you put in, equivalent, or you put in $500, it'll be $500 of Bitconnect coin, using this. So that will be sitting in there. So then, once you have it in there, you are ready to lend. So once you have that money in Bitconnect, with that, this is populated, whatever money you put in, we're going to go to the main page, and this is where we're going to lend. Now, let me just take a break right here to tell you about, Bitconnect and how it works. Basically, with Bitconnect, you can invest money by way of Bitcoin, transferring it to Bitconnect coin, and invest that, and you get paid out on a daily basis based on the fluctuations, of the Bitcoin price. So you go back here, and you see this Bitcoin price. You see this graph. You can look at other more intensive graphs if you go search, but obviously the price is going up and down, up and down, up and down. So basically, the interest rate is generated off, those fluctuations. So obviously, when it goes up, the interest rate, will be reflective of that. So I'm just going to click this quick. We're not going to go there. We'll get back to that point. Just going to show you this. I'm just going to click this so you can show and get a kind of snapshot of what the interest you might make. So if we look at the last, 6 days, we see, tomorrow, we're getting 1.61% interest. So if you had $1,000, you're getting 1.61 interest on that. And yesterday, 0.68, 0.186, 0.90, so on and so forth. So that's what you're getting based on the fluctuations of that, that Bitcoin, the Bitcoin price. And let me tell you this, anything you save, CDs, savings, whatever, you ain't getting this. So people can say, oh, it's not, they advertise 125%, whatever, but it's only 105. So what? It's way better than, what's better than? Tell me what's better than this getting paid daily. Whatever the interest rate is. And yeah, there could be, dips in Bitcoin where there's days where this is 0. That's happened. But so what? If I had it in any of my savings account, I'm getting, I think one savings account I had was 0.025 or something. And that was a month, so it's 0 today. And then tomorrow it's 1%. Hey, I'll take that, and you're getting paid daily. And here's a calculator that, let me minimize that. So you look at the last 30 days, the Bitcoin has just been out of this world. The last 30 days, 1.18. That is amazing. When I started, it was 0.9. So let me just show you what this calculator is. So if you look at the whatever you have, the money, let's just say we're doing 1,000. And I think the 1,000 rate is 299 days. So we're going to put that in. Let's calculate that. So, this is not, 100% guaranteed, but it's pretty good. You know what I mean? It kind of gives you a snapshot. Use your common sense here. The market, if you know stocks and everything, nothing's guaranteed. But it kind of gives you an idea. So, if we put $1,000 in, and if we're looking at the last 30-day average, and like I said here, you get a kind of a look at like what you put in and how many days your capital is going to be in. So another tidbit, you get your capital back after 299 days. You get your $1,000 back. So that's key. Come on. I don't get the hesitation. I guess I kind of do, but I'm telling you it's real. I've already done it. So there shouldn't be any. Take it from me. And like I said, I'm the most skeptical person around. But the more money you put in, obviously, you get a bonus here. So you get a bonus percentage. So, 299 days. After that elapses, you get that. In this case, $1,000 that we're doing for the purpose of this video. You get that back. So let's go back to the calculator. So if we're just using the last 30-day average, we got your profit would be $35.28. Return on interest, and then with your capital back at $1,000, $45.28. So let's add a zero. Let's see what that is. Actually, we want to change that term date too. So if we do 10,000, it's 179. So let's do that. So you put $10,000 in. Look at that. 24,702. 34,702 in 179 days. Now that's not guaranteed. Like I said, use your common sense, but it gives you a good, estimation. Now let's go the last 6 months. The average has been 0.89. And that's where the risk comes in. This is volatile. So, but even that is awesome. So let's do that there. Let's do 1,000. And 299. Let's calculate that. So 2661. Then with your capital back, 3661. Let's add a zero. We'll change that to 179. That's the time we get our money back. 19,511. Come on. Even if it's less than that, you're getting your capital back and you're making money. Your money's making money for you. And instead of having it sit somewhere paying you nothing or very little, you got it paying you that. Let's take some chances. And you can stay safe if you want to. But nobody who's, Warren Buffett or all these people, or they take chances. That's how where they at. So anyway. So once you, let's go back, start over. So once you have that money in this Bitconnect wallet, then you're going to hit lend. And based on the information I just showed you, you can click that to show you what the last 6 days were. You can use the calculator. You get a bonus. Anything over $1,010, get that 10% bonus, so on and so forth. So this is what you can use to know how many days and with interest and all that. Then you're going to put in the dollar amount. And then it's automatically going to, fill in what the Bitconnect amount is. So you need to make sure you have that amount in your wallet. And Bitconnect, just like Coinbase, they take fees off every transaction too. So if you get some insufficient funds, then just dial it back $5 or something, and you should be good. And then you want to click this, and then you want to pay from your Bitconnect wallet. And then you invest it. You good. You invest it. And depending on when you do it in a day, you can make money the very next day. I mean, if you put a good, $2,500 in, you're gonna, tomorrow's 1.61, you're making money. So, last time I checked mine was probably like 2 days ago. I withdraw. I had mine. I didn't check mine for like 5 or 6 days, so I had like $96 in my lending wallet. And from the lending wallet, you can reinvest right away. You can only do it from the lending wallet. So before you transfer it back to Bitconnect or Bitcoin, make sure you don't want to lend anything, because from your lending wallet, it has to be $10 or more before you can reinvest. So if you only start out with $100, starting off just to see how it works, I mean, after like 2 or 3 days, you probably only have like $5 or $6. That ain't gonna be enough to reinvest. It has to be $10 for you to be able to reinvest. So then once you reinvest, this is what's gonna show you. And if I wanted to, I'm not sure if I want to do what I want to do with this, because I can either take this money and put it in my pocket, or I can reinvest. And once I reinvest, if you look at this, I'll show you mine, then it gets added to this active investment, which I get back. As you can see, this is how much I've earned in 3 months. A little over 3 months. So this is where you can reinvest in that. If you got 50, like I can pretty much reinvest $50, and then $706 will be left over. So it's $10 increments. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do right there, so I'm gonna think about that. Plus I ain't showing y'all shit. Nah. So yeah, but then if you wanted to take that money, like, oh, I need some money, you know what I mean, I want to collect that back, then you would transfer it. You would transfer, you can hit all, you would transfer that to Bitconnect coin, to your Bitconnect wallet. I'm not going to do that now. And then once you transfer that, and you hit that box and hit confirm, then it goes to your Bitconnect wallet. Then you have to exchange that Bitconnect coin. So it's just going in the opposite direction as I told you before. Then you want to exchange. You want to exchange that to Bitcoin. So then we go down here, and then you would be selling your Bitconnect coin and to Bitcoin. So then in that case, I would hit all, and then these will populate, and then I would sell my Bitconnect coin for the current price of Bitcoin and what the current price of BCC is. And then once you do that, it might take 5 to 10 minutes. Then you're going to have your Bitcoin wallet here. It'll populate there. And then, I know it's a lot of steps, but hey, It ain't easy, but it's when you get that money in your account in their hand, it'd be worth it. But then, you want to withdraw. Once it's in your Bitcoin wallet, you want to withdraw. And once you hit that withdraw, you'll see that here. If you had that, you would put all, and obviously you see that transaction fee. They're taking their bread, or they're gonna get their paper, and then you have to have your password. So this address, what they're asking for, is your Coinbase address. And see, now your Coinbase is what's linked to your bank. So this is the holy grail right here, the Coinbase. And once you get more into this, there's some other, companies you might be able to use. So then, if you remember that string, so when you set up your Coinbase account, you have a Coinbase string for monies to be sent to your Coinbase. And to find that, you need to go to, I kind of changed this. Bear with me. They kind of changed the account, our Coinbase, the way they did it. Ooh. What the hell is that shit? Should be in accounts. Man, I'm tripping. It was right in front of my face. So anyways, my bad. Too many lights. But basically, if you click the receive right here, it will come up with a screen showing you what your receive address is, where you want to send money to this account is. So I'm not going to do that because I'm not trying to post that screen, but you'll see that string of numbers that will look like something like this. And then you want to make sure you copy it. Don't, do nothing writing it down or, side by side. You want to make sure you copy it. So then you would paste that address here. Make sure you double check it. You know what I mean? If I click this, there'll be another box that pops up. And then you'll put that there. You put all, and then you enter your password. And then you'll hit withdraw. And after, I would say, a good 5 or 10 minutes, you go to your dashboard, and down here you will see a pending amount for whatever you had. And then you can withdraw. You can withdraw that amount and send it back to your bank. And then it's in and that money is in your hands, so you can do whatever you want with it. Or you can reinvest. You can keep reinvesting. If you have 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, you'll be able to reinvest every day, and you can build your investment portfolio. Let me go back to my initial. Build your investment portfolio to as high as you want, and that'll be money you get back. So I'm gonna stop it there. I know it's long, but I wanted to go through it thoroughly so you guys know what's up, how to do it. So I'm gonna put the links in the description about the COINBASE, the Bitconnect. Click those links to start it up. Like I said, I recommend trust in me. Like I'm doing it. You seen, let me be the person that took the first risk for you. I put in about 1,100, and the 17. How we got to 1780 is just reinvestment. The additional money I actually took out for myself. I wanted to see it come back to me in my hands, which it did. So, and I'm gonna keep building. I'm gonna have some more bigger deposits coming. I have money in other places as well that I've been dabbling with. So, it's real. Do it. Let's take some chances. I think you're going to be rewarded handsomely. So, like I said, the links will be in the description. All the links that you need. The COINBASE, the Bitconnect. Make sure you follow everything as I stated. And let's get this money. For real. So, thanks for watching. Like the video. Hit the like button. Subscribe. I got some more interesting things coming. And I'm out. Back to my fucking life. Peace.